Good morning, Michael here, and today we continue with Psalms 46 with exposition on verse 6, 7, and 8. Let's go ahead and just read that Psalms again. Verse 1. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea. Though the waters thereof roar and be troubled, though the mountains shake with the swelling thereof. Selah. There is a river, the streams whereof shall make glad the city of God, the holy place of the tabernacles of the Most High. God is in the midst of her, she shall not be moved. God shall help her, and that right early. Verse 6. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. Verse 8. Come, behold the works of the Lord, what desolations he hath made in the earth. He maketh wars to cease unto the end of the earth. He breaketh the bow, and cutteth the spear in sunder. He burneth the chariots in the fire. Be still, and know that I am God. I will be exalted among the heathen. I will be exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. And so we turn to the exposition from Spurgeon on verse 6. The heathen raged, the kingdoms were moved. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. So from the treasure of David, Spurgeon writes, the heathen raged. The nations were in a furious uproar. They gathered against the city of the Lord like wolves ravenous for their prey. They foamed and roared and swelled like the tempestuous sea. The kingdoms were moved. A general confusion seized upon society. The fierce invaders convulsed their own dominions by draining the population to urge on the war. And they desolated other territories by their devastating march to Jerusalem. Crowns fell from royal heads, ancient thrones rocked like trees driven off the tempest. Powerful empires fell like pines uprooted by the blast. Everything was in disorder, and dismay seized on all who knew not the Lord. He uttered his voice, the earth melted. With no other instrumentality than a word, the Lord ruled the storm. He gave forth a voice, and stout hearts were dissolved. Proud armies were annihilated. Conquering powers were enfeebled. At first the confusion appeared to be worse confounded when the elements of divine power came into view. The very earth seemed turned to wax. The most solid and substantial of human things melted like the fat of rams upon the altar. But anon peace followed. The rage of man subsided. Hearts capable of repentance relented, and the impeachable were silenced. How mighty is a word from God's! How mighty the incarnate word! Oh, that such a word would come from the excellent glory even now, to melt all hearts in love to Jesus, and to end forever all the persecutions, wars, and rebellions of men. Verse 7. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Selah. And so Spurgeon expounds yet again on that verse. The Lord of hosts is with us. This is the reason for all Zion's security and for the overthrow of her foes. The Lord rules the angels, the stars, the elements, and all the hosts of heaven, and the heaven of heavens are under his sway. The armies of men, though they know it not, are made to subserve his will. This generalissimo of the forces of the land, and the Lord High Admiral of the seas, is on our side, our august ally. Woe unto those who fight against him, for they shall fly like smoke before the wind when he gives the word to scatter them. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Emmanuel is Jehovah of hosts, and Jacob's God is our high place of defense. When this glad verse is sung to music worthy of such a jubilee, well may the singers pause and the players wait a while to tune their instruments again. Here, therefore, fitly stands that solemn, stately, peaceful note of rest, Selah. At verse 8, come behold the works of the Lord, what desolation he has made in the earth. And Spurgeon expounds, come behold the works of the Lord. The joyful citizens of Jerusalem are invited to go forth and view the remains of their enemies, that they may mark the prowess of Jehovah and the spoil which his right hand hath but won for his people. It were well if we also carefully noted the providential dealing of our covenant God, and were quick to perceive his hand in the battles of his church. Whenever we read history, it should be with this verse sounding in our ears. We should read the newspaper in the same spirit, to see how the head of the church rules the nations for his people's good, as Joseph governed Egypt for the sake of Israel. What desolation he had made in the earth! The destroyers he destroys, the desolators he desolates. How forcibly is the verse at this date! The ruined cities of Assyria, Babylon, Petra, Bashan, Canaan are our instructions, and in tables of stone records the doing of the Lord. In every place where his cause and crown have been disregarded, ruin has surely followed. Sin has been a blight on nations, and left their palaces to lie in heaps. In the days of the writer of this psalm, there had probably occurred some memorable interposition of God against his Israel foes, and as he saw their overthrow, he called on his fellow citizens to come forth and attentively consider the terrible things in righteousness which had been wrought on their behalf. Dismantled castles and ruined abbeys in our own land stand as memorials of the Lord's victories over oppression and superstition. May there soon be more of such desolations. Ye gloomy piles, ye tombs of living men, ye sepulchres of womanhood or worse, ye refugees of lies, soon may ye fall, and amid your ruins may the owl and bat and dragon find congenial resting place. Yes, yes, yes. God sits high and looks low. He's not slack concerning his promises. And his power transcends all the feeble best weapons of men. Oh, yes, glory. Just you enjoy the reading and the expositions here as we go through Psalms 46. This is Michael here declaring, Jesus is Lord. Until next time, read Psalms 46. Bye now.